Welcome back. Slushy and Film Podcast, episode number 19, which is absolutely crazy that we're still rolling with this. I'm even holding my mic today to do this because I'm using a different camera lens and I don't like the way the camera lens looks. So I have to scoot back. I'm sitting in the middle of my room in my chair holding my microphone. But you know what? We're still making a podcast, and I am super pumped to be here. I am super pumped to talk all things movies and shows, and I have one heck of an episode for everybody today. We are talking about Marty Supreme. I'm diving deeper into Marty Supreme. I brought Marty Supreme up in my last podcast episode when I reviewed Sentimental Value and Hamnet. Well, we're going to do a deep dive into Marty Supreme, and I have a brand new segment that I definitely think everybody's going to enjoy. So let's go. Start off by saying, sorry, my chair squeaks. Just throwing that out there. If you hear it, that's on me. Let's see if we can. I can't get it to squeak. Of course not. But if it squeaks, that's on me. Like I said, I'm in the middle of the room doing this. I'm using a different camera lens today. I don't like the camera lens, so we are rolling with what we have. But like I said, pumped to be here. Slushy and Film, episode 19, Marty Supreme, brand new segment, which I'm not going to bring up about what it is just yet. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that and super time relevant with some of the movies coming out in this month. So there's a hint on what we're doing later in this episode. But first, as always, I got to talk about what I'm watching. And it's not a long list like the last episode was. It's just a list of two. It's just two things. I'm watching two things. And I guess technically three because I'm watching Shrinking. So season 3 is Shrinking. Most of it is out. So watching that right now. That's a fantastic show. That's a top 10 show for me all time. I just think it's super relevant and important in today's world. And I love Jason Segel, Harrison Ford, and the whole cast, I think, just go really well together. So Shrinking on Apple TV is amazing. The Pit, we're sticking with TV shows. Caught up on The Pits. I wish that they just dropped the entire season at once. I think it'd be more effective. However, that show is just so good, picking right up where they left off with season 1, season 2 happening the 4th of July. And so now I think we're all the way up to 2 p.m. during their shift. So that has been a fantastic show as well. If you have never seen The Pit and you're a medical drama person, or frankly, if you're not even a medical drama person, I think you should watch The Pit because I think you'll love The Pit. It's won awards. I mean, Noah Wiley, I think is his name, the guy that's lead actor for this whole thing. He's won awards. I mean, the show's got a ton of recognition since it's been coming out. And if you've never seen The Pit or never heard of The Pit, then it's on HBO Max, and you need to definitely go watch The Pit because it is super, super good. And again, medical drama is super popular, and this is right up there with the best of the best. So that's The Pit. So Shrinking and The Pit are the TV shows. So what about the movies? I've posted on the Slushy and Film TikTok that I'm trying to find out, like, what movies do I watch? And I haven't been getting a ton of, like, ones that I've never seen. And so I was sitting at home the other night, and my wife and I, as everybody knows, we are making it a goal to watch the 10 Best Picture nominee films for the Oscars in a couple weeks. And we're through 8 of them. So Marty Supreme was our 8th movie. We had Train Dreams and The Secret Agent left. And we were sitting one night and we were like, let's just knock out Train Dreams. So we had heard maybe it's not the most entertaining film, but it can still be appreciated. So we sat down and we were like, let's watch Train Dreams. And we watched Train Dreams. So Train Dreams is on Netflix. I'm not doing a deep dive into it. I'll give my short thoughts, I guess you could say, on Train Dreams before we get into Marty Supreme. My biggest positive for Train Dreams was the cinematography. I thought it was beautiful. I thought that the setting was extremely pretty with it being in the Pacific Northwest. Yes, it was really good to look at. It was really nice and appealing and appeasing to the eye. Let's just say that that's where that stops for me. I was bored. I thought it was slow. I don't think it had a great ending. I think it just kind of ended. I thought some of the camera shots, like some of the stuff that they teach you when you're in school with like camera work and camera shots, they break it all in this movie. Everything's like super low angle looking up at everybody. It's like the camera's at like waist height, if not lower, looking up. It feels like every shot, whether they're sitting down, whether they're standing up, like it just feels like every camera shot's a little bit lower, and you're always kind of looking up at the people. But there's a ton of space above their head, like an obnoxious amount of empty space above their head. So they're just framed really oddly in the movie. And I don't like that. I thought it was not nice to look at, frankly. Um, However, that's not obviously every camera shot, but a lot of the camera shots were like that. And I thought to myself, who's like, what is this? Like, I can see why it's an Oscar film because it's it feels like an Oscar movie. Like it's slow, it's artistic, it's I don't know, something that the Academy always seems to like. And you can appreciate it, but to me I'm like there's no way in my eyes that can compete with One Battle, Sinners, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, even Sentimental Value. Frankly, I thought Begonia was way better. I guess maybe not F1. I mean, I like F1 so much more than Train Dreams, but like I could see why maybe people don't. Um, so and then I guess Frankenstein. I don't. I mean, how can I sit there and even compare the two movies, like or any of those movies to Train Dreams? Like I just felt like Train Dreams, like Sentimental Value to me was slow and frankly it was a little boring at times, but not at all like Train Dreams. I almost sat here and I was like, what did I like? Just watch for an hour and 40 minutes because I know it's like the story of this guy and we're jumping time and he loses his wife and we think he loses his kid. We don't know. Like, was he hallucinating his kid when the kid came back? Like, all this kind of stuff. Like, and there were some, again, really beautiful shots and really beautiful things to look at, but whoa, holy slow and holy boring. Like, the narrator voice, it fit the movie, but it was slow and it was boring. And I was just like, I'm glad we watched it, of course, because we're doing the 10 movies for the best picture and the Oscars, but Train Dreams was not it. I frankly am putting it at number 9 out of the 9 movies I've seen. I loved F1, so F1's above that. I really liked Frankenstein. I put Frankenstein slightly above that. Um, but as of right now, my best picture nominees ranked from my least favorite to my favorite. Number 9, I'd have it Train Dreams. 8, I'd have Frankenstein. 7, I'd have F1. 6, Begonia. 5, Sentimental Value. 4, Hamnet. 3, Marty Supreme. 2, One Battle After Another, and then 1, Sinners. That is not the order in which I think, like, I don't think Sinners will win. I think One Battle After Another will win Best Picture, but Sinners is still my number 1, if that makes sense. So those are my 9 right now. Again, haven't seen The Secret Agent. I'd be surprised if The Secret Agent gets past 7. So my top 6, I think, are pretty much shoe-ins, unless I watch a Begonia or Sentimental Value again, and maybe I flip those. Begonia was really good. I think it's getting kind of not as much love as it should. So that's Train Dreams. It's been watched. I'm not doing a deep dive on this podcast because I don't want to. I thought it was boring, and I'll own that. And again, you can appreciate it for what it is, but I was bored. So that's that with Train Dreams. Marty Supreme. The film by A24, starring Timothy Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa Zion, Kevin O'Leary, directed by Josh Safdie, who also did Uncut Gems. It's about a ping pong player, Marty Mauser, who's a young man. He's got a dream that just nobody respects, and he goes essentially to hell and back in the pursuit of greatness and becoming the best at what he does. And this is you know what? Pause. Let me tell you about the nominations, then I'll get into my thoughts. It's nominated for 9 Oscars. It's nominated for directing, actor in a leading role, original screenplay, best picture, best casting, cinematography, costume design, editing, and production design. So I think I said best picture twice, and that's fine. So it's nominated for a bunch of stuff. There's a massive topic that we need to talk about that will be also this will also be a TikTok video. Is Timothy Chalamet losing ground at the best actor? Because after the Golden Globes and after whatever the award show after that was, Timothy Chalamet was pretty much a shoe-in at that time to win Best Actor at the Oscars. Well, we've had 2 awards since. We've had the Actors Awards and we've had BAFTAs, and he has not won either of those awards. I cannot remember the guy's name that won at the BAFTA, but then Michael B. Jordan just won at the Actors Guild Award that was on Netflix recently, and that's the most recent award show. And Michael B. Jordan won that one. So now all of a sudden, Timothy Chalamet's 0 for 2 in the last 2 award shows. And his odds are really dropping for winning Best Actor at the Oscars. And you know whose odds are rising are Michael B. Jordan's. So now all of a sudden, that's become a lot more of a level playing field with everybody in it. And I mean, DiCaprio's in that too. So you got to look at that. You got to look at that because he was great in one battle after another. You know, and then you compare Jessie Buckley to the actress in a leading role, and she's a shoo-in. Like she's going to win that award. Like she hasn't lost yet, and now Chalamet's losing all of a sudden. So now the actor award, when you may have picked him like a month ago, is totally different. And Marty Supreme's losing ground. It's not doing as well as it did about a month ago. It's not winning as many awards, and people, I don't know if they're just dismissing it or they're liking other things or what, but all of a sudden Chalamet and Marty Supreme are struggling when it comes to the awards. And now I don't know if Chalamet will win Best Actor, and I don't frankly think he will at this point. I think it's probably a 33-33-33 with DiCaprio, Michael B. Jordan, and Timothy Chalamet. I think it's a wide open race, and that's crazy because like I said last month, that was not a thing. So that is definitely something to watch out for. The Oscars is who wins Best Actor because I don't think it's a shoo-in anymore with Chalamet winning. So that's kind of interesting. Let's start my negatives about Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme is an anxiety ride the whole time. I mean, if you have any anxiety at all, like this 2.5 hours will bring that anxiety out of you. I mean, it is nonstop, go, 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 anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. Also, he is a main character. He's a protagonist. But are you supposed to like him or are you supposed to hate him? And they leave that to your interpretation. And should a protagonist in a movie be liked or should they not be liked? Because do you lose a part of an audience when your main character is not likable? And I think there's a argument to be had that he's not a likable character, which I don't think he's supposed to be likable. You're not really supposed to be rooting for him, even though he like wins in the end. I guess you could say he wins in the end. And he's super selfish, and it's interesting. Like, do you have a protagonist that you want to be liked or not? Because I don't know if he is liked, and some people probably do like him and do root for him. I found myself kind of right in the middle, so that's super interesting, and I think I look at that as a negative because I think that you don't want a main character that you dislike. And I think that there's probably a piece of Marty Supreme audience that have watched that movie that dislike Timothy Chalamet's character. And I think that's super fair. So that, and then the anxiety induced ride you go on. Again, this is like my number 3, maybe my number 4, the more I talk about it, because I just love Hamnet. But so it's still up there with like being unbelievably good for me, right? And it's in the 9s. So those are my 2 big negatives. Now I have a whole list of positives. First is the marketing that they did for Marty Supreme. The viral Zoom call that they did with Timothy Chalamet, I thought was purely brilliant. Like, honestly, I mean, maybe want to see the movie, frankly, with the orange and like, it obviously like was a joke and it was hilarious to watch. And Timothy Chalamet was killing that marketing campaign, right? And it was hilarious and it was so well done. And they did it on Zoom. It was posted all over online and it went viral. And frankly, I'm sure that helped A24. And I think this is something else that's a big positive for the movie is, box office success for A24. Like, I love A24 films. Like, over the years, they've gotten so much better. Marty Supreme's grossed $147 million globally. That's a record for A24. That's awesome, right? It's the highest for that A24 film, and also Everywhere, Everything, All at Once, which won Best Picture a couple of years ago, is second for A24 when it comes to the worldwide global box office at 142 million. So Marty Supreme's passed that by 5 million. I'm sure they're still making a couple extra dollars here and there because it's still in select theaters. But it came out on Christmas Day, so it came out 2.5 months ago. So that's a great success. It's a great success for A24. It's a great success for Marty Supreme. Again, A24's got a really interesting film coming out in March this month that I'm going to talk about in the next segment, so stay tuned for that. But I really love A24. I think A24 is figuring it out. Years ago, I hated A24, frankly. Like, I didn't like their movies. I'm not a big, like, horror, scary thriller guy, but I've found myself really liking A24's work, and so this is, that's another big positive when it comes to this movie. I think another big positive is Timothée Chalamet. I mean, frankly, he's fantastic in this movie, right? If his character's gotten to the point where you can't figure out if you dislike him or like him, I think he's doing something right. So I love Timothée Chalamet. I think he is fantastic. He's great in everything he's in, honestly. I mean, he's an A-list actor in our world today. And so anything he's in, he brings people to the theaters, right? And he did that for me, and I even found him to be funny in this movie as well. So I really enjoyed his performance. I thought it was really good. Another big piece is the time period and the clothing. I thought that was super well done as well by Josh Shafty and his team. New York at that time, I thought what looked beautiful. I thought it looked great. Again, the clothing looked great. The accents were great. Like, I just really thought that you really got thrown into that time period, and it worked out really, really well. And so it's another huge positive for me as well. And I just talked about the negative of a protagonist being liked or disliked. Well, for me, it was almost kind of a situation where I found myself rooting for him, so I gave that a positive in my eyes. But again, I could see why people sit here and don't. So, look, Marty Supreme will not win the Best Picture. And frankly, like I said a couple minutes ago, it's struggling right now. And so it may not win much, if anything, at the Oscars, including Chalamet in Best Actor. And if that's the case, then that's too bad. After talking about Hamnet on the last week's podcast, I kind of want to flip Hamnet and Marty Supreme and put Hamnet at 3 and Marty Supreme at 4. I have not committed to that just yet, so I don't know for sure. But after I see the Secret Agent, I'll do a quick ranking on the podcast, and I will actually have my final rankings. So Marty Supreme, it's definitely top 5 for me when it comes to the Best Pictures. I think it's top 5 for most. It's really well done. It's an anxiety-induced ride. Chalamet's great. Josh Shafty does well. He's really good at these anxiety movies, right? Because Uncut Gems is very similar. And actually, I think another bright spot's Kevin O'Leary, who's never acted before in his life. Mr. Wonderful, Shark Tank. And he just gets thrown in this movie to play this really wealthy dude, and I think he's great. I think he does super, super well. So that's another big positive on Marty Supreme as well. So a lot of good. Of course, there's some bad, but Marty Supreme was a good movie. I'd give it in the low 9s for sure. So that's Marty Supreme. 9 out of the 10 Oscars done for Best Picture that I've seen. So we are moving on. And I am so pumped about what this next segment is. And I think you guys are going to really like this too. So I'm calling this next segment Trailer Court for the month of March. What we're going to do is I've already watched these trailers, so I'm going to judge trailers that have come out for movies in March. And I'm going to let you know if I think the movie should be something you go see based on if the trailer looked good or not. So the trailer is solely the reason that that could make me or you go to a movie. And I'm going to tell you if I think you should or you shouldn't. And I'm going to kind of slowly explain about what some of these movies are about without getting too crazy. All right. I'm not going to sit here and watch every trailer and do all that because we'll be here all day and I don't want to do that. So we're going to go through. I have 5 movies we're going to touch on. Hopefully you've maybe heard of these. 3 of these are coming out today, the day I'm recording this, March 6th. The day also this is releasing March 6th. So we're recording and releasing same day because I'm just, I guess, built different, as one could say. So let's dive into this. First, Hoppers, the Pixar film Hoppers. The trailer, it looks hilarious. I would sit here, if I'm watching this trailer court, the Hoppers is a movie you should go see. Hoppers has been advertised for a long time now by Pixar and Disney, and Pixar and Disney have really struggled with their movies recently. But for some reason, I think that this movie is going to be very good and do very well. The trailer, it looks interesting. I think Disney and Pixar have learned from their mistakes in the past with some of the movies they've done, and I think that they're going to really hit home with Hoppers, and I think Hoppers is going to bring people back to the theaters to see Pixar films, and they need it, frankly. And so after watching the Hoppers trailer, I would say 100% you need to go see this movie. Of course, you have kids or anything like that, then it's a no-brainer. You should definitely go do that. But Hoppers, 100% go see Hoppers. The trailer looks great. The Bride, the new Maggie Gyllenhaal film, Jessie Buckley as the bride, Christian Bale as Frank, aka Frankenstein. This is a movie after the trailer that doesn't look great, and it stinks because Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale should be all the reason you go to the movie. But I don't think the trailer looks very good. You don't get a ton. You get Jessie Buckley in the trailer, but not a lot of Jessie Buckley saying or doing a ton. You get some stuff from Christian Bale, not a lot. And I'm just a little nervous that this is going to be one of those movies that's in like the 50%, 60% when it comes to the Rotten Tomatoes and audience scores and all that. And it's just not going to do super well. I think the people and the critics just aren't going to like it. And the trailer doesn't look very good. So for trailer court for the month of March, I would say no. Like, don't go see The Bride. If I'm wrong and people are loving it and the critics are loving it, then hey, do better with your trailer next time, right? But I don't think this film's going to be anything crazy. I find it really interesting that Jessie Buckley's in a film coming out right now with the Oscars right around the corner for Hamnet. So hopefully that does not hurt her any way, shape, or form. Third movie, non-theater related, Netflix related, War Machine. I watched the trailer the other day and I was like, this looks dumb. Comes out today, March 6th, and this looks dumb. It does. It looks dumb. I would give it a big fat nope. And you know what? I'm going to watch it. So I guess I can let you know for sure. But the trailer didn't look great. I don't like the look of the machine thing that they have to fight against in the movie. I think it looks cheesy. Dennis Quaid's in the film. I think it's like Alan Richman or something is in the film as well. I'm going to watch it. I like war movies. But after watching that trailer, I don't think that's something that I would tell you that you need to watch right now. So I'd give that one a nope. That would be ranked 3 out of the 3 so far. I'd say Hoppers number 1, The Bride number 2, and then War Machine number 3. Those are all coming out today, March 6th. Let's jump to March 20th because one of, if not my most anticipated movie of the year is Project Hail Mary starring Ryan Gosling. He was just on Fallon last night. He's hosting SNL. This movie's going to be a slam dunk hit, home run. Hole in one, you name it. This movie is going to be blockbuster level good and arguably, I think, one of the best space films of all time. The trailers look incredibly good. The cinematography in the trailers, the music in the trailers, the characters, I just have no reason to believe this is going to be bad. And everything that they release for this movie, when it's trailer related, this is number one. This is the first big movie of the year where you have to go see this in theaters. So with trailer court for March, Project Hail Mary is a yes. Like, you have to go see this movie. The trailer looks unbelievably good. Go see Project Hail Mary. The last one I'm excited for because it's not something that's crazy popular like a Project Hail Mary or as a Pixar film like Hoppers or, is going to be this big theater hit, I think, but it's an A24 film and it's about podcasting, at least a little bit. It's called Undertone, and you should see the trailer. It looks scary. It's creepy. It's got a podcasting piece to it, and I'm in. I think it's going to have, of course, I think there's going to be like a double related piece to it as well. But this trailer is creepy when it comes to the podcasting stuff, and I am so in for it. I think it's going to be so good, and I think it's going to be something that I'm going to not love seeing in the theaters because I'll scare myself probably multiple times, but I'm going to make it a goal to go see this in theaters. But right behind Project Hail Mary is Undertone. I think that this is a movie that people should go see. I think that this is a movie that, of course, if you hate horror and you hate scary stuff, then you probably should not see this movie, and you can wait till it comes out onto a streaming platform. But wow, this movie looks good, guys. Undertone, one word. If you have not seen the trailer for that yet by A24, you should definitely go watch the trailer and obviously form your own opinion with this kind of stuff, but I will tell you, it looks great. And so I would say this is right up there with a must see. Some of these are not. War Machine, nope. Frankly, The Bride, probably not. Hoppers, I think you should go see. Undertone for sure. Project Hail Mary is a no-brainer. So those are the 5 for the trailer court for March. I'm going to do a trailer court for April. I'll do one for May, and so on throughout the year. And there are some huge films coming out soon. So we're going to get some really, really important, good trailers that I'll be like, you need to go to the theaters. So stay tuned for those. So look, we're on a roll with this podcast. I say it every time we do it. I'm continuing to have a blast with it. The interactions is with, you guys have been amazing. I love uploading. I love video editing. I love doing these podcasts. I love talking about this stuff. A couple episodes ago, I had my first guests. We're going to continue to look for guests, especially as some movies come out. Looking ahead to what my next episodes are going to be about, depending if I go to the theaters to see some of the movies that have come out today. We'll do some quick reactions on those. I'm actually out of town / out of the country in about a week and a half for an entire week. So there'll probably be about a week and a half of no podcast, maybe even 2 weeks, depending on what that looks like. Or I'll double up and record 2 podcasts and just have one make sure it releases when I'm out of town. So, but we'll see on that. So if it's a little janky in terms of the release schedule, that you know why, because I'm kind of all over the place with work and with travel. So, but we're going to continue to do this. I post on TikTok, on the Slushy and Film TikTok, every single day. I just finished my Hamnet related TikToks, and then it will now be some more in-depth Marty Supreme things from this podcast, and then my trailer court will be their own TikTok episodes as well. And so those might be the ones to start releasing first, because it's March 6th and some of the movies have literally come out today. So be on the lookout for those. Interact on the TikTok page. We've surpassed 50 followers on the TikTok page, which is amazing. I think we're about at 1,200 likes, which is awesome. We're getting a good amount of views. We're going to continue to go with it, right? And I think that TikTok is a very, very popular space, and people seem to really engage on TikTok. And this film content creation space is a great space to be in. And so I'm excited to be there. I know I'm brand new, and we're going to keep working. We're going to keep doing what we're doing, right? And so, interact with Slushy and Film, share Slushy and Film, whether you're listening on Spotify, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching the short form content on TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Thank you as always. I can't thank you enough. Right now we're doing this for fun. I'd love to do this for obviously fun forever, but for some, I love to interact with users and people out there, and I love to see what people think and what their opinions are and what I should watch. And it's a lot of fun. And so thank you for that. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, share the podcast, get that out there. And thank you so much for listening when it comes to that. And then, of course, if you see any of the short stuff on TikTok, share it with somebody you think may be interested. And who knows, let's keep growing. Let's keep growing Slushy and Film, and, maybe have some more guests on in the future. So episode 19 for Slushy and Film, Marty Supreme, trailer court for March. I hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun doing that and setting that up and trying to come up with that idea. And so, yeah, this was a lot of fun. And as always, I will see you guys next time for episode 20. We're hitting number 20, which is crazy. And it's all thanks to you guys. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.